The war chamber of the Archon Dominion flagship was vast, dark, and humming with power. Thousands of lights flickered across the walls, displaying fleets of ships stretching endlessly into the distance. Each ship was a war machine, gleaming under the soft glow of distant stars. The room smelled faintly of oil and metal, and the quiet thrum of the vessel's engines was almost hypnotic. Admiral HFY stood at the center, tall and imposing. His armor reflected the soft light from the control panels, making his presence feel larger than life. Around him, 12 of the most powerful leaders in the Dominion sat on elevated chairs, their eyes fixed on him. These were the members of the High Council, beings who had commanded entire worlds and fleets for decades. Every move HFY made was measured and deliberate. He was their chosen commander for this mission. "Begin your report," said High Strategist Valkyr, her voice cold and sharp, like the cutting edge of a blade. HFY's gaze shifted to the main tactical display. A glowing image appeared above the table, showing a bright yellow star surrounded by planets. One planet, glowing blue and green, stood out. Sol, HFY began, as humans call it, is a small system. The third planet is their home, Earth. It contains a single inhabited world with a population of approximately 12 to 15 billion. Compared to the Dominion, they are insignificant. One council member leaned forward, his clawed fingers tapping on the armrest. "With such a large population, surely they have defenses?" HFY's scales caught the light from the display, giving his face a shimmering pattern. "That is what intelligence reports suggest," he said. "But the truth is far more convenient. Their military is scattered. They maintain small fleets for each colony. Earth, their home world, has fewer than 200 vessels capable of defense, mostly patrol ships and escorts. Their technology is functional but crude compared to ours. They have been in space for nearly 2 centuries, yet none of their colonies are heavily armed." Murmurs ran through the council chamber. Satisfaction shone on many faces. This mission, HFY thought, would be easier than anyone expected. Valkyr's icy voice cut through the murmurs. "And their combat history? Any victories?" HFY shook his head slowly. "Minimal. 3 minor conflicts with neighboring species. 2 were negotiated settlements. The third was a border skirmish with the Tel Consortium, which they lost after losing a single colony ship. No significant victories have been recorded against any peer military force." "Then why?" Valkyr asked. "Why do they resist our demands for tribute and resources?" Pride, HFY thought. That was it. High Strategist, humans are young. They do not fully understand the galaxy. They believe in diplomacy and hope that some council of species will intervene on their behalf. But the Galactic Council is weak. They will protest, pass resolutions, and do nothing while we take what we need. Humans are resource-rich and occupy a key trade route. It is wasteful to negotiate. We take. Other council members nodded in agreement. HFY allowed himself a small smile. "Our plan is straightforward," he continued. "We enter the Sol system in full battle formation. The size of our fleet alone will break their will. We will orbit Earth and broadcast our demands. If they surrender, we accept tribute and establish occupation forces on key colonies. If they resist, we have 12 planet cracker weapons in the fleet. A single demonstration on an uninhabited moon will convince them. And if it does not..." He paused, letting the threat linger in the room like smoke. "Earth will become an example. No species refuses the Archon Dominion twice." The council discussed the plan among themselves. Finally, Valkyr raised her hand. "The High Council approves. Admiral HFY, you proceed. Bring humans to heal. Show the galaxy the Dominion's power." HFY bowed deeply. "It will be done, High Strategist. We depart within the hour." Once the council left, HFY turned to his second officer, Krelver. "All ships report ready?" Krelver nodded, holding a data tablet. "Yes, Commander. Hyperspace calculations are complete. Transit time to Sol system, 72 standard hours. We will emerge just beyond their outermost planet." 3 days, HFY muttered. his gaze moving to the viewport where his armada waited. In 3 days, this will all be over. Humans will kneel or they will burn. Either way, the Dominion takes what it wants. Krelver's voice was quieter now. Sir, why has no one attacked Earth before? They are weak. Their fleets are small. Any major power could have conquered them. Cherenin frowned slightly, irritation creeping into his tone. Perhaps they are not worth the effort. Or perhaps they have a hidden strength. But I cannot dwell on that. Doubt is dangerous. Facts are clear, humans are weak. Our fleet is strong. Victory is certain. He looked out at the vast armada, 900 ships in formation. The war machines gleamed under distant starlight. Their crews numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Planet-cracker weapons lined their hulls. This was ultimate power. And yet, a small part of him wondered if intelligence had missed something. All ships report ready for hyperspace, announced the communications officer. Give the order, Tetravenin said. His voice echoed with authority. All ships, jump on my mark. 3-1 mark. Space twisted and stretched. Stars elongated into lines of light. The massive fleet vanished from normal space, hurtling through the void between dimensions toward Sol system. Far away, in another part of the galaxy, alarms began to blare. Luna Station, orbiting Earth, detected a massive hyperspace displacement. Its sensors picked up 900 ships, enormous and deadly. The humans were outnumbered. Way outnumbered. Admiral Elena Chun, a small woman with eyes that seemed to see everything, stood in the command center. Her presence alone commanded respect. Her tactical officer, Lieutenant Aaron Voss, came to her. Admiral, we've detected a fleet. Massive. Hyperspace exit in 72 hours. Chun nodded slowly. I expected them. The Archon Dominion has been making demands for months, tribute, trade access, basing rights. We refused. This is the consequence. Voss's voice trembled slightly. We can't match them. They're numbers. Chun turned to him, calm and resolute. Numbers are meaningless. Strategy, courage, and unity. These are what matter. Prepare every ship for alert. Inform the colonies. Non-essential travel is suspended. This is a Sol system matter. We fight here. We fight now. A silence filled the room as the weight of her words sank in. Humans may seem small, weak, and unprepared. But under Chen's leadership, the galaxy was about to learn one truth. Never underestimate humanity. The countdown had begun. In 3 days, the Shadow Fleet would arrive, and humanity would either bend or stand and fight. Luna Station hovered like a silver sentinel above Earth, a gleaming ring of metal and glass reflecting the light of the nearby star. Inside, thousands of personnel moved with practiced precision, running simulations, monitoring space traffic, and scanning the distant reaches of the Sol system. The station was humanity's primary defense coordination hub, a nerve center that could track and respond to threats across the entire system. Admiral Elena Chun stood at the main command console, her posture calm but commanding. Her eyes scanned the array of holographic displays showing ships, planets, and sensors. Though she was small in stature, her presence filled the room. People instinctively knew that when she gave an order, it would be executed perfectly. Lieutenant Aaron Voss approached, his hands gripping the edge of his console. Admiral, we've confirmed it, he said, his voice tight with tension. Hyperspace sensors detected a massive fleet entering from deep space. Estimated vessel count, 800 to 900. Configuration matches Archon Dominion signatures. Chun nodded slowly. She had been expecting this. For months, the Dominion had been making demands, tribute payments, access to trade routes, and the right to establish bases on human colonies. Each request had been politely but firmly refused. And now the inevitable was coming. How long until they arrive? She asked. 72 hours, Admiral, Voss replied. At maximum hyperspace efficiency, they will emerge somewhere in the outer Sol system. Our fleet, his voice faltered. Even if we deploy every ship, we're outnumbered more than 8 to 1. Chen's gaze didn't waver. Numbers mean nothing if you underestimate the human spirit. she said quietly. Send word to all colonies. Inform them of the situation. Non-essential travel is suspended. Colonial defense forces go to alert, but remain at their posts. This is a Sol system matter. We handle it here. Around her, officers exchanged nervous glances. Some had never faced an enemy of this magnitude. But Chen's calm confidence was contagious. Her voice, though soft, carried authority. The room grew quiet as everyone absorbed her orders. Commander Sarah Malik stepped forward, her hand resting lightly on Chen's shoulder. Are you certain, Elena? Once we act, there's no hiding it. The whole galaxy will know. Chen looked at her old friend, her voice steady. We have no choice, Sarah. Evacuating, negotiating, or running. That is not who we are. Humanity may seem small and weak, but we do not bow to fear. We fight and we fight together. Sarah nodded slowly, understanding. She had always trusted Chun. And now, the truth of their resolve was about to be tested. Sound system-wide alert, Chun ordered. All civilian traffic clear the main approach vectors. Ensure the space around Earth, Mars, and the belt is empty. We prepare for full engagement. Lieutenant Voss hesitated. Admiral, should we warn the Archon fleet? Send a message? Tell them to turn back. Chun considered this. Yes, but only once. We will not beg for mercy. We will make it clear. Any attack will be met with force. They underestimate us. They will learn the cost of that mistake. The command center erupted into organized chaos as orders were relayed to every outpost, every colony, every ship. Humans may not have the largest fleet, but their coordination was precise. Every station, every defense grid, and every patrol was informed. Every person knew what was at stake. In the Martian defense grid, Admiral Rena Soto watched the communications relay with clenched hands. All units acknowledge? She asked her officers. Yes, Admiral, one of them replied. Protocol Atlas is active. The colonies are ready. Soto nodded grimly. Protocol Atlas was humanity's last resort strategy, a series of hidden defenses and countermeasures designed for existential threats. It had never been used before. Today it would be. Far above in the asteroid belt, automated defense platforms powered up. Hidden railguns and missile batteries hummed to life, waiting for the moment they would strike. Drones capable of rapid deployment were launched into orbit, ready to intercept the incoming threat. Even the smallest outposts had been upgraded in secret over the past century. Back at Luna Station, Chun studied the tactical displays. The Archon Dominion fleet was massive, terrifying. She knew her people were outgunned and outnumbered. But humanity had something the aliens could never understand: resourcefulness, ingenuity, and an unyielding will to survive. Lieutenant, Chen said, pointing at a cluster of ships on the display. These are their command vessels. Targeting them first will disrupt their coordination. Use diversion tactics with our smaller ships. Draw their fire, confuse them, and slow their advance. Every second counts. Yes, Admiral, Voss replied, fingers moving rapidly across his console. Around the station, crews worked tirelessly. Communications officers relayed orders to outlying colonies. Engineers calibrated weapons and shields. Pilots ran simulations of attack and defense maneuvers. Every human involved understood the gravity of the situation. Chun walked slowly along the command floor, her eyes meeting those of every officer she passed. Remember, she said, voice carrying over the hum of machinery. We may be outnumbered, but we are never outsmarted. Every ship, every station, every person matters. Today, we show the galaxy who we are. Today, humanity fights. Voss paused at his console, glancing at the distant star system on the display. Admiral, do you really think we can stop them? Chun smiled faintly, but it was not a smile of arrogance. It was a smile of certainty. We don't stop them because we hope to win. We stop them because we have no other choice. And when the Archon Dominion looks at our fleet, at our defenses, they will see that humanity is not so easily conquered. Hours passed in tense preparation. The clock ticked down. Sensors monitored the darkness beyond the Sol system. Every officer, every pilot, every crew member waited. They were ready. In 3 days, the Shadow Fleet would arrive. They believed the humans would surrender. They believed Earth was weak. They were wrong. Humanity's quiet might was about to be revealed in a way the galaxy would never forget. Admiral Chun returned to her station, her eyes scanning the horizon. The stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the coming storm. Somewhere out there, the Dominion fleet hurtled toward them, confident of victory. They did not yet know that humans, though few in number, could stand against overwhelming power. And when they did, the Archon Dominion would learn a truth they had never anticipated. Humanity fights not just with ships, but with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable spirit. The countdown had begun. The battle for Sol was about to start. The edge of the Sol system was quiet, almost peaceful. Asteroids drifted lazily, and distant sunlight glimmered off icy moons. But the calm was about to shatter. A shadow appeared in hyperspace, a dark, immense shape that stretched across light years. The Archon Dominion fleet had arrived. Admiral Tacharwanen's flagship emerged first, its massive hull reflecting faint starlight. Behind it, hundreds of smaller warships formed a perfect formation, each one armed with planet-cracking weapons, energy cannons, and shields stronger than any human had ever seen. The Dominion expected compliance, submission, a simple surrender. But they were about to discover that humans were not so easily conquered. At Luna Station, Admiral Elena Chun watched the incoming fleet on her display. Hundreds of vessels. 900, by the latest estimates. Her small fleet, less than 100 ships, would never survive a direct confrontation. But Chen's mind was calm, calculating. Humanity had faced impossible odds before. This was no different. Deploy the interceptors, Chun ordered. Position them near the outer asteroid belt. Draw their attention and keep them off our main defense stations. Lieutenant Aaron Voss's fingers moved rapidly over the console. Admiral, the fleet is splitting into 2 wings. One heading toward Earth, the other toward Mars. They're trying to flank us. Chin nodded. Then we split as well. Use decoys. Activate stealth drones. Lead them into the belt. Make them chase shadows while we prepare the real counterattack. Meanwhile, the first human ships jumped into position. Sleek, fast, and highly maneuverable, they darted through the asteroids, using the terrain to hide their movements. The Dominion ships, enormous and slow, struggled to keep pace. Their confidence began to waver. On the Dominion flagship, Tacharwanen frowned as he watched his displays. Why are they not surrendering? He demanded. Engage full weapons. Destroy those interceptors. High Strategist Valkyr shook her head. Sir, the humans are using the environment. They are smaller but faster. Direct attacks will cost us heavily. Then crush them anyway, Tacharwanen said, irritation creeping into his voice. They are weak. They must fall. But the humans did not falter. Using feints and misdirection, small human squads struck Archon supply ships, slowing their advance. Mines hidden in asteroid fields detonated with precision, crippling key vessels. The Dominion fleet was strong, yes, but rigid, unprepared for an enemy that thought like a predator. Chen's voice echoed through Luna Station. Target the command ships. Use the drones to confuse them, then strike at their formation. Hit hard, hit fast, and retreat. Let them chase ghosts. Their pride will be their weakness. The battle began in earnest. Explosions lit up space as Archon cruisers were damaged or destroyed. Humans darted in and out of the battlefield, using superior maneuverability and intelligence. One small squadron lured a group of Archon destroyers into a trap, where hidden orbital guns fired from a moon, tearing through their hulls. Voss gasped at the display. Admiral, they're losing ships at an alarming rate. How is this possible? They are supposed to be stronger. Chen's eyes were steady. Strength alone does not win a battle. Strategy and ingenuity do. Watch and learn. Even Tacharwanen was beginning to doubt. The humans fought with precision, sacrificing small ships only when necessary to protect key points. Their defenses were modest compared to the Dominion, but every move was calculated, every strike purposeful. As the first hours of battle passed, humans began taking the offensive. Stealth drones sabotaged the Dominion's communication links. Mines detonated near supply vessels. Smaller human ships appeared in multiple locations at once, confusing the enemy and splitting their forces. For the first time, the Dominion realized they were facing a foe that would not break under intimidation alone. At Luna Station, Chun addressed her fleet. Every ship matters. Protect civilians. Protect stations. But do not fear the enemy. They are large but rigid. They underestimate us. Turn their arrogance into their downfall. Commander Malik spoke from her station. Admiral, the outer wing of the Dominion fleet is overextending. They are chasing our decoys into the asteroid belt. It's working. Chun smiled faintly. Good. Prepare to strike the exposed flank. The human forces moved with deadly efficiency. Using asteroid fields as cover, they targeted key vessels, tearing through shields with focused attacks. Archon cruisers, massive and powerful, could not turn fast enough. Explosions scattered debris across the void. A chaotic ballet of fire and metal. HFY's frustration grew. He barked orders, but every attack seemed to fail. Human ships appeared where they should not, struck with precision, and disappeared into the shadows. He had commanded fleets across galaxies, but never faced a species that fought like this. Valkyr leaned close to him. Sir, perhaps we underestimated them. They are cunning, adaptable, unlike anything we expected. HFY clenched his jaw. Impossible. They are supposed to be weak, divided. Yet here they are, holding their ground and inflicting real damage. Prepare the secondary weapons. I want their fleet crushed before nightfall. But humans were already one step ahead. Using combined attacks from Luna Station, Mars Defense Grid, and orbital drones, they forced the Dominion to split even further. Ships that were meant to protect others were being destroyed first. The battle was turning into a slow, painful grind for the Archon fleet. Chun watched the chaos unfold on her screen. Focus on command and logistics, she said quietly. If we disrupt them, the rest will fall. Remember, we are outnumbered, yes, but we are never outsmarted. As the sun set across Earth's horizon, explosions lit the sky and space. For the Dominion, this was meant to be a swift victory, a show of force. Instead, they faced resistance they had not anticipated. Humanity, small and seemingly weak, was proving that cunning, courage, and coordination could defeat even the greatest military might in the galaxy. Hours turned into the first day of battle, and the Archon fleet was battered. Ships were lost. Pride was broken. Yet still they pressed forward, unwilling to retreat completely. They could not understand this species. They had assumed humans would surrender. They had assumed Earth was defenseless. They were wrong. And deep inside Luna Station, Admiral Elena Chun knew this was only the beginning. The humans had not yet revealed the full extent of their capabilities. The Archon Dominion thought they were strong. They had yet to face humanity's true power. The battle for Sol was underway. The Shadow Fleet had arrived, but the humans were not afraid. They had the advantage the aliens did not see coming, the will to fight and the mind to win. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. Humans, though small, were never weak. The outer Sol system had become a chaotic battlefield. The massive Archon fleet loomed over the planets, its warships dark and menacing against the glimmering stars. Explosions dotted the void as human interceptors darted between asteroids, striking and vanishing with uncanny precision. The Dominion's confidence was faltering, their arrogance crumbling against a species they had assumed was weak. Inside Luna Station, Admiral Elena Chun moved with quiet determination. Every display, every sensor, every communication link fed into her mind like a living map. She did not panic. She never panicked. Humans may have been outnumbered, but they had advantages the Dominion could not comprehend, advantages hidden in plain sight. Deploy the hidden arrays, Chun ordered. Her voice was calm but firm, carrying through the command center. Activate the orbital railguns on Mars and Ceres. Prepare the drone swarms. This ends tonight. Lieutenant Aaron Voss looked up from his console, astonished. Admiral, the Dominion is stronger, larger. Are we sure this will work? Chen smiled faintly. It will work because they do not know what we are capable of. They think numbers win battles. Strategy, stealth, and innovation win wars. The humans had prepared these weapons in secret for decades. Orbital railguns, camouflaged among asteroids and hidden moons, could fire projectiles at unimaginable speeds. Drone swarms, small but agile and armed with precision missiles, could disable multiple ships at once. Even some civilian mining stations had been upgraded to launch defensive attacks if necessary. Every element of human industry had a dual purpose: survival. Admiral, Commander Sarah Malik spoke from her station. We have sensors on the outer wing of the Archon fleet. Their command ships are isolating themselves, trying to coordinate attacks. Should we? Wait for the signal, Chen said. Her eyes were focused, unwavering. Timing is everything. They expect a head-on fight. They will get something far worse. On the Dominion flagship, Admiral HFY was growing more frustrated by the minute. His fleet had suffered unexpected losses. Hundreds of ships destroyed or crippled by human ingenuity. Mines detonated near supply lines, stealth drones disrupted navigation, and smaller human squads seemed to strike anywhere at any time. The Dominion's rigid formations were breaking down. Send reinforcements, HFY roared. Do not let them escape. Crush them. Valkyr shook her head. Sir, their attacks are unpredictable. Direct engagement is costly. Their strategy is unprecedented. But the humans had no intention of direct engagement. Chun had devised a plan that leveraged the environment, technology, and timing. Smaller fleets acted as bait, drawing portions of the Dominion into asteroid fields where hidden railguns and orbital missiles waited. Drone swarms disabled shields, leaving massive ships vulnerable. Every move was calculated, precise, and devastating. At Mars Defense Grid, Admiral Rena Soto watched her monitors in awe and fear. Targets are locked. Fire on the lead cruisers. Missiles shot from hidden platforms, slamming into the flank of Archon ships. Explosions rocked their hulls, sending fragments tumbling into the void. The aliens had expected a slow, predictable resistance. They had underestimated human creativity. Back at Luna Station, Chen's comm voice echoed over the comms. Focus on command and supply ships. Take out their coordination first. Leave the destroyers for later. Voss's fingers flew across his console. They're hitting their command vessels. Shields down. They're falling into our trap. Yes, Chen said quietly. Now draw them further. Let them stretch their formation. Let them overextend. Then the full defense arrays strike. The Archon fleet, massive and powerful, was beginning to fracture. Their ships were scattered, struggling to maintain cohesion against attacks they could not predict. Pride had blinded them. Arrogance had made them vulnerable. Humans, though smaller and outnumbered, were exploiting every weakness with precision. Even the civilians, safely housed in orbital stations and underground shelters, played a role. Automated systems diverted energy to power railguns and shields. Engineers guided drones, corrected missile trajectories, and monitored weak points in Archon defenses. Humanity's survival was a system-wide effort. Every individual mattered. Hours passed, and the battlefield grew chaotic. Archon ships, though heavily armed, were being destroyed faster than they could respond. Massive explosions lit the void, scattering debris across the asteroid belts. The Dominion had underestimated this species, its adaptability, intelligence, and sheer willpower. HFY's rage was palpable. They are only a fraction of our size. How is this possible? He demanded. Valkyr's voice was quieter, more cautious. They are not just fighting, sir. They are coordinating, predicting, and adapting. They fight as one organism. This is extraordinary. Chun watched it all unfold. Her face was serene, but her mind raced with every calculation. The Archon Dominion had entered the Sol system confident of victory. They would leave battered, humiliated, and perhaps defeated. Prepare the final wave, Chun ordered. Deploy the last of the drones and activate the planetary defense cannons. We strike at the heart of their formation. Finish this. As the final wave launched, the Dominion fleet was caught off guard. Command ships were destroyed, supply vessels obliterated, and the fleet's formation collapsed entirely. Thousands of ships were disabled or destroyed. The humans, using cunning, technology, and coordination, had turned the tide. For the first time in this battle, the Archon fleet hesitated. They had believed humans would surrender without a fight. They had thought Earth was weak, unprepared, and insignificant. They were wrong. Chen's calm voice rang over the comms, addressing every human ship, every station, every operator. This is humanity. We do not surrender. We do not retreat. We fight for our home and we fight together. The Archon Dominion will learn what we are capable of. Let them see our strength. The battlefield, once dominated by fear and shadows, now reflected the courage, ingenuity, and resilience of humanity. The Dominion had underestimated their enemy. They had misjudged the humans' will to survive, and it was a mistake that could cost them dearly. Even as the Archon fleet regrouped for a desperate counterattack, it was clear. Humanity had secrets they had not yet revealed. The true power of Earth was only beginning to show itself. And when it did, no force in the galaxy would ever consider humans weak again. The battle for the Sol system was far from over. But one thing was certain. The Archon Dominion had entered a war they were not prepared to fight. Humanity's quiet might had awakened, and the galaxy would soon take notice. The Archon Dominion fleet had entered the Sol system expecting easy victory, but the battle had not gone as planned. Ships were damaged, command lines disrupted, and confidence shattered. The humans, though outnumbered, had turned the fight into a carefully orchestrated nightmare. And now, the tide of battle was beginning to shift. Admiral Elena Chan stood on Luna Station's observation deck, her eyes on the holographic display showing the scattered Dominion formation. Focus on their command and supply vessels, she ordered. If we disrupt their coordination, the rest will fall apart. Lieutenant Aaron Voss nodded. Admiral, we can strike their outer wing first. It's overextended and vulnerable. Good, Chen said. Deploy the stealth drones and orbital weapons. Precision is key. Take out their logistics. Force them to fight blind. Across the asteroid belt, human drones darted like swarms of predatory insects. They moved through gaps in Archon shields, disabling communications, engines, and weapon systems. Mines hidden among the rocks detonated with surgical accuracy, crippling enemy vessels without risking human crews. From Luna Station, Chun coordinated every move. Her voice was calm but resolute. All units focus fire on exposed targets. Protect our civilians and key installations. This is humanity's chance. Strike with everything we have, but conserve our strength for the final assault. The human strategy worked perfectly. The Dominion fleet, enormous and confident, found itself fractured. Wings were isolated, supply chains severed, and command vessels disabled. Hundreds of massive ships drifted helplessly, their crews scrambling to respond to attacks they could not predict. On the Dominion flagship, Admiral HFY slammed his clawed hand on the console. Why are they winning? This is impossible. They are smaller, weaker. How can they? High Strategist Valkyr stepped forward cautiously. Sir, the humans are using every advantage we cannot see. They fight not with numbers, but with strategy. They are agile, coordinated, and unpredictable. HFY growled in frustration. They are supposed to be insignificant. Destroy them. But the humans were already several steps ahead. Smaller human squadrons, acting as decoys, had lured large Archon cruisers into asteroid fields. Hidden railguns on Mars and Ceres fired from unexpected angles, tearing through massive hulls. Orbital missile batteries struck command vessels. Every attack disrupted Dominion coordination further, turning the battlefield into chaos. In the midst of the fight, human ingenuity shone brightest. Drones reprogrammed enemy shields to briefly malfunction, turning Archon energy cannons against their own ships. Stealth technology allowed human interceptors to strike where the Dominion expected nothing. Every vessel, every weapon, every crew member played a part. Lieutenant Voss watched in awe. "Admiral, their command ships are falling one by one. They're losing control of the entire fleet." "Yes," Chen said softly. "Now they realize the mistake of underestimating humanity. The tide is turning. Keep pressure on them. Do not let them recover." Even the Dominion troops could feel the shift. Morale faltered as their carefully planned formations collapsed. Ships that were once symbols of absolute power now drifted, damaged and vulnerable. The aliens had expected humans to crumble under intimidation and superior firepower. They had misjudged the resilience and intelligence of an entire species. On Luna Station, Chun directed the human fleet to exploit weaknesses. Target their weakest points first. Engines, weapons, and communications. The larger ships will follow. Use coordinated attacks and strike where they least expect it. Commander Sarah Malik, monitoring a human squadron in real time, reported, "Admiral, the Dominion outer wing is breaking formation. Our squads are isolating their cruisers. The attack is working perfectly." "Good," Chen said. "Push them further. Force them to overextend. Every ship they lose now is one less ship to threaten us later." The human fleet, though small in comparison, moved with precision. Each maneuver was calculated. Each attack exploited weaknesses. Dominion vessels, massive and powerful, could not turn quickly enough. Mines, drones, and orbital weapons tore them apart from multiple angles. The Dominion fleet was staggering, losing hundreds of ships. From Mars, Admiral Rina Soto watched as explosions lit up the void. "They're using the terrain, the stations, the asteroids, everything. Humanity is turning this fight in their favor." "Yes," Chen said. "It's not just technology. It's courage, coordination, and resolve. Every human in the system is contributing. That is what makes them stronger than any single fleet." The Dominion commanders began to panic. Ticharwanan barked orders, demanding impossible maneuvers, but every attempt to regroup ended in disaster. Supply lines were cut. Command ships disabled. Strategic positions lost. They had assumed numbers alone would win the battle, but they had underestimated the human mind. Chen's calm voice guided her fleet. "Conserve our forces. Protect Earth and Mars. Let them overextend. Once they are fractured, we strike decisively. This is our advantage." By the end of the first day, the Archon fleet was reeling. Ships drifted powerless, formations broken. The humans had not yet revealed their full strength, but they had shown enough to prove that victory was no longer impossible. The Dominion had entered the Sol system with arrogance, expecting humans to yield. Instead, they had been forced onto the defensive, and for the first time, the shadow of fear touched their commanders. Ticharwanen's claws trembled over the console. "They are winning." "How? They are supposed to be weak. Insignificant." Valker's voice was calm but tinged with disbelief. "Sir, they are not weak. Their fleet may be smaller, but they are coordinated, clever, and relentless. They fight as one. They are extraordinary." Chun watched the displays and allowed herself a small, quiet smile. Humanity's ingenuity, courage, and coordination had turned the tide. They had taken the first step in defeating the shadow of the Dominion. And this was only the beginning. The battle for the Sol system was far from over. But the first major victories had already been claimed. Humanity had proven that numbers were not the measure of strength. Ingenuity, willpower, and courage could overcome even the greatest odds. The turning tide had begun, and the Dominion would soon discover that humans were a force the galaxy could not ignore. The Sol system had become a battlefield of epic proportions. Smoke and fire streaked across the void as the Archon Dominion fleet struggled to regroup. Ships drifted powerless, torn apart by human ingenuity, and the Dominion's confidence had been shattered. Yet the aliens were far from defeated. Desperation fueled their attacks, making them more dangerous than ever. Admiral Elena Chan stood on Luna Station's command deck, watching the chaos unfold. Her calm eyes scanned the displays, taking in every ship, every movement, every weak point. "Focus on the command vessels," she ordered. "Every strike must be precise. Every sacrifice must count." Lieutenant Aaron Voss's fingers flew over his console. "Admiral, we're tracking a massive cruiser heading directly for Mars. It's heavily armed and shields are near maximum. Our squads alone can't stop it." Chen's jaw tightened. "Then it will take more than squads. Divert the orbital railguns on Ceres and use the asteroid drone swarms. It will slow them down. We can't let it reach Mars." In the outer asteroid belt, human drones and stealth ships darted like shadows. Mines hidden among the rocks detonated, crippling engines and weapon systems. Every move was calculated. Every strike was coordinated. Humans were small and outnumbered, but they fought with precision, courage, and unity. Meanwhile, Admiral Rina Soto watched from Mars' defense grid. "The cruiser is damaged, but still moving. It will reach Mars in minutes if we don't act fast. Activate the secondary defense platforms," Chan ordered. "Sacrifice what is necessary to protect our colonies. Draw their fire, slow them down. Every second counts." Human ships and drones swarmed around the massive cruiser. Some intentionally exposed themselves to enemy fire, drawing the cruiser's attention. Missiles, railgun fire, and coordinated attacks struck it from multiple angles. The massive ship's shields faltered under constant assault, but the price was high. Several human interceptors were destroyed in the process. Voss winced as he tracked the losses. "Admiral, we're losing too many ships. They're hitting hard." Chen's voice was calm but firm. "Sacrifice is part of war. Every loss here ensures the survival of millions elsewhere. We fight not just with weapons, but with hearts and minds. Hold the line. Protect Earth and Mars." On Luna Station, Commander Sarah Malik monitored the engagement. "Admiral, the cruiser's shields are down. The drones are preparing to strike its engines directly. It will be disabled within moments." "Good," Chen said. "Now focus all fire on the command vessel. Take it out. Force the fleet to lose cohesion completely." The human assault struck with deadly precision. The massive cruiser shuddered as engines failed, weapons fell silent, and the vessel drifted helplessly. Explosions tore through its hull, sending debris into space. The morale of the Dominion fleet faltered. Their formation, already fractured, began to collapse entirely. Even as the humans celebrated small victories, they knew the battle was far from over. Larger Archon cruisers still threatened Earth and Mars. Smaller human fleets had to coordinate perfectly to counterattacks without suffering catastrophic losses. Strategy and timing were everything. Chen's mind worked like a machine. She coordinated attacks from Luna, Mars, Ceres, and orbital stations simultaneously. "Concentrate on command and supply lines," she said. "Let them fight blind. Every destroyed cruiser, every disabled ship brings us closer to victory." In the chaos, the Dominion fleet tried to retreat, but human forces anticipated their movements. Drones and interceptors blocked escape routes, while orbital weapons targeted fleeing ships. The Archon commanders realized too late that their arrogance had been their undoing. Humanity fought not only with strength but with cunning and foresight. Lieutenant Voss spoke quietly, awe in his voice. "Admiral, they're falling apart. The Dominion fleet, they're losing control completely." "Yes," Chen said, her eyes never leaving the display. "This is what they did not expect. They thought humans would surrender. They thought Earth was weak. But humans fight, and we never give up." Across the battlefield, small human squadrons made bold maneuvers. One team of pilots drew a group of Archon cruisers into the shadow of a massive asteroid. Hidden railguns fired from multiple angles, disabling engines and weapons. The aliens had been overconfident. Their pride made them vulnerable. On Luna Station, Chen's voice echoed through the comms. "Every ship, every operator, every station, coordinate. Strike hard, strike smart. Let them see the cost of underestimating humanity." Even as losses mounted, humans did not falter. They sacrificed ships to save colonies, risked lives to protect stations, and used every available weapon to weaken the Dominion fleet. Courage and strategy overcame raw power, and slowly but surely, the shadow of the Archon fleet began to shrink. Hours later, the battle reached its turning point. The massive command vessels were destroyed or disabled. Supply lines severed. Ships lost their cohesion and began drifting aimlessly. The Dominion fleet, once a symbol of unstoppable force, was now a broken, desperate shadow of its former self. Sherwin, aboard his flagship, clenched his claws over the console. Rage and disbelief battled across his face. Impossible. They should not be able to do this. Valkyr spoke quietly, her voice tinged with awe and fear. Sir, they are extraordinary. They fight with mind, courage, and unity. Their strength is not just in numbers, it is in spirit. This species is unlike any we have faced. On Luna Station, Chun allowed herself a small, quiet smile. Humanity had paid a price, yes. They had lost ships, brave pilots, and resources. But the Sol system was secure for now. The Dominion had been beaten back, its pride shattered, and its fleet scattered. Prepare for the final phase, Chun ordered. Ensure all remaining ships are repaired and ready. We finish this. We show the Dominion that humans cannot be conquered. Malik nodded. Yes, Admiral. Humanity has stood its ground. We will finish the fight. Chun looked out over the Sol system. The battle was far from over, but the first major victory was theirs. Sacrifice and courage had turned the tide. The Archon Dominion had underestimated humanity, and they had learned the hard way that humans, though smaller and seemingly weaker, could overcome any enemy when united. The galaxy would remember this day. The Shadow Fleet had been driven back, but humanity's fight was only beginning. And when it ended, Earth and its colonies would remain free, a symbol of courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable human spirit. The Sol system was scarred. Asteroids had been shattered, massive explosions dotted the void, and the remnants of the Archon Dominion fleet drifted in chaos. Yet, amid the smoke and debris, humanity stood unbroken. The battle for Earth, Mars, and the colonies had tested every human skill, every strategy, and every ounce of courage, and now the moment of the final stand had arrived. Admiral Elena Chun surveyed the tactical displays aboard Luna Station. The remaining Archon fleet was scattered, their command ships destroyed, their formation shattered. Hundreds of ships floated helplessly, their crews scrambling to regain control. But Chun knew the fight was not over. The aliens were desperate, and desperation made enemies dangerous. Prepare all units for the final offensive, Chun commanded. Her voice was calm, unwavering. We end this now. Every ship, every drone, every weapon will strike in coordinated precision. This is humanity's stand. Lieutenant Aaron Voss's fingers flew across his console. Admiral, the Dominion's remaining ships are retreating toward the outer system. They're trying to escape. Then we cut them off, Chun replied. Deploy interceptors to block escape routes. Use stealth drones to disable engines. Force them to face us. No one leaves until this is finished. From Luna Station to Mars, every human fleet moved in perfect synchronization. Orbital railguns fired with deadly accuracy, targeting Archon ships' weak points. Drone swarms swarmed around enemy vessels, disabling weapons and communication arrays. Human interceptors darted between asteroids, striking and vanishing with precision. Every move was planned, every attack coordinated. In the Archon fleet, Admiral Tcharwenen's rage boiled. His massive flagship trembled from repeated strikes. Command ships were destroyed, supply lines severed, and his pride shattered. He had underestimated humanity, and now his fleet was crumbling. Hold your positions, he bellowed. We will regroup and strike back. High Strategist Valkyr shook her head. Sir, it's over. Their tactics are flawless. They anticipate every move. We cannot regroup. Tcharwenen slammed his claws against the console in frustration. They are only a fraction of our size. How can this be? Meanwhile, human forces executed Chen's orders flawlessly. Using a combination of deception, precision strikes, and terrain, They had funneled the remaining Archon ships into the asteroid belt. Hidden railguns, orbital missiles, and drone swarms struck from every direction. Massive explosions rocked the void as the Dominion fleet suffered catastrophic losses. Lieutenant Voss watched in awe. "Admiral, they're falling apart completely. The fleet, it's finished." "Yes," Chen said quietly. "This is what they didn't expect. Humanity fights with heart, mind, and unity. And now, they will face the cost of underestimating us." On Mars, Admiral Rina Soto monitored the final engagement. Interceptors have disabled their flagship engines. All remaining command ships are targeted. The Archon fleet is helpless. Chun allowed herself a rare smile. "Good. Prepare the final strike." Across the battlefield, human fleets converged on the remaining enemy ships. Orbital cannons fired in unison, tearing through hulls. Drones struck every weak point simultaneously, leaving nothing untouched. Smaller squadrons executed daring maneuvers, drawing fire and exposing vulnerabilities. One by one, the Archon ships exploded or drifted disabled, unable to fight back. Even in the face of near-total destruction, the aliens refused surrender. Desperation made them reckless. Human forces anticipated every move, exploiting every weakness. Courage, ingenuity, and coordination had turned the tide completely. From Luna Station, Chun addressed the fleet. "This is humanity. We do not bow to threats. We do not surrender. Today we finish what we began. Strike with precision, strike with courage, and show them our strength." The final moments were a blur of controlled chaos. Massive explosions illuminated the void as the last Archon command ship crumpled under fire. Smaller vessels, cut off from support, surrendered or were destroyed. The Dominion fleet, once a symbol of fear and dominance, lay shattered across space. Admiral Tuman, his flagship crippled, glared at the displays in disbelief. "Impossible. They should not be able to do this." Valkyr spoke quietly, her voice tinged with awe and defeat. "Sir, they are not just a fleet. They are a united species, coordinated, clever, and fearless. We have been defeated." Back at Luna Station, Chun allowed herself to relax slightly. Humanity had won. The Sol system was safe, the colonies secure, and the Dominion fleet destroyed. The galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary. A species underestimated by all, rising to defend their home and their future. Commander Sarah Malik approached Chin. "Admiral, it's over. The Dominion is defeated. Humanity, we did it." Chin nodded. "Yes, Sarah, but victory is never simple. We pay the price and we remember the sacrifice. Every ship lost, every life given. It was for the survival of Earth and its colonies." Across the command centers, engineers, pilots, and crews celebrated quietly. The Sol system was theirs. The Shadow Fleet, which had once threatened humanity's existence, had been defeated. And through it all, humans had proven that intelligence, strategy, and courage could overcome even the greatest power in the galaxy. Chun gazed out at the stars, reflecting on the battle. The galaxy will know this day. They will know that humanity does not bow. They will know that we fight and we endure. And they will know never again to underestimate us. In the void of space, scattered debris glimmered like distant fireflies. The remnants of the Dominion fleet drifted silently, a testament to human resilience. Earth, Mars, and the colonies were safe for now. But the message had been sent. Humanity had awakened. The galaxy would never see them as weak again. The final stand had